Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. So guys, I want to talk to y'all today about the fish stake set. It is the absolute most deadliest water set for all animals that you could ever use in your life. It'll out catch the pocket, it'll out catch a PVC pipe, it'll out catch a cubby. Hands down. For a baited set, you cannot beat this set. I've caught everything you can imagine in it as well, not just the coon, the mink, the muskrat, the beaver, otter. I've caught fox, coyotes, bobcats. The only two things I have not caught in it yet is a weasel and a badger. I've caught skunks, I've caught possums. I mean, you'll catch everything with this set. If you're looking for a set that's versatile, fast, simple to put in, and deadly, this is the set for you. Let's get started here. Okay, so the set itself has been around for eons. God only knows how long this set's been around. What makes the set, though, is the stake. And the stake itself, there's been a lot of people try to take credit for the development of it, but the stake itself, and the credit goes to a man by the name of Jerry Garnio that lived in Burlington, Iowa. He simplified the whole thing by developing the stake for the set. For years and years and years, it was nothing more than a fish on a stick out in the water with two traps or one trap set between it and the bank. Okay, you had to put your fish on a stick, then you had to anchor your trap somehow. With the development of the stake that he came up with, it eliminated all of that because now it's all one unit. The stake holds the fish, the stake holds the traps, okay? So, you know, like I said, the credit all goes to Jerry. He's the one that developed it, to my knowledge. All right, he's the one that come up with the stake. So let me get things set up here just a little bit, and I'll show you exactly what goes on with it. All right, guys. So what we have here is a 36-inch long rebar stake. Now you can make this with 1/2 inch, you can make it with 3/8. I don't have a preference either way, unless I'm working in really hard clay bottom creeks or rivers. Then I prefer the 3/8 over the 1/2. But if I'm working in sand, then I prefer the 1/2 over the 3/8, just because you have easier. If it's clay, you have an easier time getting that 3/8 in and pulling it back out. If it's sand, you have a better holding power with the 1/2 inch over the 3/8. That's the difference, okay? So it's 36 inches long. The whole entire stake is. Then you come down 6 inches and you can weld a T in here. We made them with, John Deere has these big knockouts, all right, that come out of the sides of balers. Now you take that and you drill either a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 hole in the middle of it. You slide it down onto your stake, and you put a bubble of weld below it and a bubble above it so that disc will spin. Then on the outside edge of that disc, you drill a hole that a J-hook will go in. You put a J-hook in it, you put your trap swivel on it, or your ring, one of the two, you clamp it shut. Now you have swivel here and you have swivel here. Makes for a way better deal. All right, the other secret to this set is this piece of wire. You have got to have this piece of wire on this stake. Has to be there. You cannot get away without it. And this wire serves two purposes. So number one, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but you just run the wire down the stake. All right, just like so. It's just run down it. All right, then when you slide your traps on, you put the ring through the stake, or the stake through the ring, and the wire goes in there also. All right, just like that. And run it on down. Then you take another either number 11 or a number 1 long or a number 1 coil or whatever you choose to use as a coon trap. It doesn't matter. This just happens to be a 1.5 Duke. It's what I grabbed. You do the same thing with it. Put it on there, and the wire goes through the swivel of it and down onto the stake, like so. Bring this wire up, and you wrap it around the top of your stake 2 or 3 times. Now, the reason this is such an important deal is if you hook a coyote in this, he's got a good chance of pulling it because he's down in the water, everything's wet, everything's slick, and these stakes sometimes will pull out. Even in sand, they'll pull them out, okay? Coyote's a big, strong animal. He's on a short chain. He's got all the leverage in the world to get up there and get over top of it and go to yanking on it and pull it out. Now, if he does pull this out, now you have a drag attached to your traps, okay? So he's not going to go very far, and he's going to wrap up. The other thing is, I have seen this happen, all right? Trapping in a sandy creek, water comes up, you get a lot of rain, big flood, big water. That stake will stay right there, all right? It won't go nowhere. But these traps, if they're not wired to that stake, will shift and slide and sand right down off of that stake, and they'll be down there under 4 or 5 feet of sand, and you'll never get them back. Now, though, when you go to pull it, everything's all one unit. You just lift it up and go on. Hello, Timber. She's feeling her piss and vinegar tonight. Now, the way you put this set in, you put it down in the water. Your fish goes on top. You just take your extra wire and you wire your fish onto your stake so that that animal has to stay there a little longer to work that fish to get it off of there, and you've got a better chance of getting him caught. If you live in a state that does not allow the exposed bait, there's 2 or 3, 4 different ways around that, okay? One of my favorite, nothing more than a paper plate. Just shove it down on top of the stake, just like so. Take your wire, with your fish in there, you take your wire, you go around it a timer 3. Now it's not exposed, at least to soaring birds. Now, if you live in a state that says that it can't be exposed at all, then I would suggest you switch over to use a portable pocket. And what you would do there is you would just add a longer stake onto your top, or onto the bottom of your portable pocket set. And I've explained that in another video too. Another thing that you can do is just take a wad of grass and put around the top of this thing and wire it on there with your fish as well. If you're using a small enough fish, you can slide a styrofoam cup over it. And again, just take your wire and around the top of the stake there and wire it on there so that the wind can't blow it off and it's covered underneath there and nothing's exposed. Put a little lure up here on top of it, same with the paper plate, same with water grass, just put a little lure on it. Portable pocket, same way, just put a little lure on top of it and you're in business, you're good to go. So that's pretty much it as far as covering it if you live in a state where you can't use exposed bait. Thankfully here in Iowa, there's only a handful of rivers that we're not allowed to use it in, and that's just the rivers. So don't jump on me telling me it's illegal in your county altogether, because that's not how the law reads. Read the law. If you live, any state you live in, read the law and abide by it, okay? That's all I'm saying. So let's get things set up here again a little bit, and I'll show you how these go when they actually set in the water. All right, guys, I don't know how well this is going to show up out there, but anyway, the stake is out there. You're probably, I don't know, we're a foot from the grass line out into the water with the stake. The traps are set between the bank and the fish. Now you can, and I know you can because I've seen me do it. If you're under a bridge or you're up against a high bank, reverse it. Put the stake up against the obstruction and the traps out in front of it. That's a good way to catch a lot of fur. Just be sure if you're up against like a wooden pillar or something that the coon can't get straight up over top of it and pull that stake. But if he's only got one way coming in and out of there, there's no way for him to get around you. You can't miss. I'm telling you guys, this set is deadly, and if you're going to catch a lot of fur, you put a lot of these in, you better get a skinning knife ready, because you're going to be a busy son of a buck. This set is awesome. It's the only set I run for a water set when I'm trapping coon, mink, muskrat. I mean, it's not a muskrat set, but it will catch muskrat, it will catch beaver. It'll dang sure catch otter. It'll catch anything with fur and a nose on it, really. Anyway, that would be the completed set right there. All right, guys, I believe that video was worth the cost of what you paid for it. There was quite a bit of good information there for you. I appreciate y'all tuning in. As far as an update to the clinic, we've got plenty of interest in it. Probably take the first 10 guys. It's going to cost, I'm going to put, I'll board you and feed you, as far as that goes. It's going to cost $1,000 each. I'm just working out the details as to where to put everybody. It's not going to be a big problem. I've just got to make a couple phone calls, put you in a nice room. Everybody will be taken care of. Be a Friday and a Saturday, and then part of the day on Sunday, and then we'll turn everybody loose, let them go home. So if it's something that y'all are still interested in, just let me know. Appreciate y'all watching. Once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.